All right, so I actually do have an update. I haven't posted one of these in a while, but we or I have been researching just like different ways that we can use magnetism to control plasma, and I think this has some promising applications. Yeah, this is crazy. Um, so the magnetic moments of atoms, basically just realigning them to kind of create a magnetic field into ferromagnetic, which is just like north and south, to heliomagnetic, which creates many north and south poles. And I think in a vertical sort of fashion. So this is what I want to talk about, right? So I don't know if they show us the magnetic fields themselves because I want to see what they look like. Um, but this is what I'm kind of envisioning, right? I'm just going to go to my camera real quick. So I'm envisioning something like this, right? Um, so there are a couple of applications that I'm thinking about, and I'll release full videos on them once I'm done talking about them. But they're just things that you can do with the quantum locking. Watch my other videos on just like the science stuff. I've been specifically talking about fusion, so this would be really great for fusion. So just imagine this as the fusion in the center, and really you have a magnet that's quantum locked, pushing the magnetic field up to sustain the plasma, and then you got a helical magnetic field that is spinning, and what this will do will actually push the the sorry, the plasma up, so you won't have to use as much magnetism to push it up, so it'll basically be encaged here. And really all you do is you have to have like a shell, obviously, with the magnetic field. I'm going to explain it more deeper, but I really think that this here has some really good properties that we can use for that, which is the heliomagnetism. This seems very important. Yeah, and then we also have the lattice structures here of this magnet. I'm just going to show y'all in a second. So I was trying to do an atomic quantum lock. Basically, I was thinking of encoding, data here, and you don't want it to be hit by anything, right? So this protection against quantum technology that can just take all of our information away. So basically, you would store any information, whether it's quantum or not, because really all this is relying on is on switches here that are being hit by a photoreceptor that is set to a certain pair of quantum entangled um, photons. And you can do that, or you can try, and I think they did a new thing in the double slit experiment. They did like the update on it where they had light that was actually recorded, like it they shined the light and then put the thing in front of it and then took it away to see like the spacing between the light and how it changes. You could actually use this distance between the two photons, or whatever you want to call them, the beam of light, to basically use this calculation that is being read by the receptor, and that would be quantumly linked to the actual light, because light is kind of a quantum particle. And it actually does the whole traveling back in time, which is kind of funny, but I don't think that's I didn't read into that, so don't actually quote me on that. I'm pretty sure I didn't look into that. That might be fake news. I always have to look at these articles and read them and see if they're real or not. um, I know physics.org is a pretty reliable source as far as I'm concerned. um, yeah, because they're an organization. But yeah, I think that spacing could basically be used on the sensor to open and close so that you could access the information in here. And what this would do would basically only send the signal to, oh, I just went away. Would be sending signal to these, which would contract the lattice structure, whatever, however they're going to use the barium thing. So this would contract it. Um, but this is not using the magnetic field itself. The magnetic field itself would protect it because it'd have its own magnetic field, which would repel any other magnetic fields from actually interfering with the data, which is what I wanted. Um, so what will happen is the sensor will trigger this, however you want to do that. It would have to be through magnetism, obviously. So um, I think it would be like a short pulse or something. It could be an electromagnet, but basically it would scrunch up and then the information could be read out. And what would happen is the outside would still be conductive, like the electricity could conduct outside, but the inside, the information would just be stuck there. And what would happen? So this is kind of like the free electrons, whatever you want to call them. They're like in their orbitals or whatever. They're kind of just floating around doing their own thing, but they're information, right? Quantumly locked information. It's a set of electrons, right, that you're using. So this would be sent out and it would hit this sensor basically. So there's two of them. There's one right here and there's one right here. And this is to complete the circuit basically. The reason why it needs to go on the outside is that if it only went in one direction, you would have the magnetic field kind of fluctuate. So if you equilibrate the electricity that is being displaced on the outside with whatever the magnetic field is, out, like basically right out here, or however it goes inside of the actual magnet itself, what would happen is it would come out magnet, I say, but it's a magnetic material. um, it would come out, it would hit this, and then it would basically travel back to the sensor. So it'd be a reader and a sensor. Read the information, either send it to open the lock or read information from the sensor and then shoot it out. And this would always be this encoded pair, and it would always be the distance between these two things, right? Between the two photons, or if you're going really small quantum scale, or between the two sets of light information, photonic information, which would be really cool. I really want to see this happen. Don't got the funds for that. Don't got anything else for that. But yeah, just wondering. And then yeah, obviously this I have to do some more testing on, because I have not done real math on it, but I've just been like showing y'all ideas and looking at what other people are doing and just having ideas about the math that I've studied. So yeah, that's cool. But yeah, that'll be probably the only update I have for this for now. It'll be probably like, this is side, like obviously I'm not gonna make any money whatsoever or anything by just doing this. In fact, I'm probably making people money because they're taking these ideas, working on them on secret, and then boom, you know. But it is what it is. Yeah, so quantum locked lattice coded lock. Sorry, atomic quantum lattice coded lock, because it has to be also, you know, the actual atoms themselves. The actual lattice structure has to be very specific if it wants to be made like I was showing y'all. Um, but also for the heliomagnetic, I think they already found how to make heliomagnetism, because the magnetic field will be different if you make the material lattice structure different, obviously, because each material itself has a different ferromagneticity, and then that repels the different magnetic fields and makes it add up to one big magnetic field because they are attached on the quantum level. Blah blah blah, yada yada yada. Basically, it's a lot of shit that I can't do here in a room with no money. So yeah. Strontium, barium, oxygen, cobalt. Yeah, that's interesting, but that makes sense, I guess. I mean, strontium and barium, the only metals. Cobalt, is that a metal? I haven't looked at a periodic table in a while. It's because we're not really using periodic tables when we're doing calculus. Uh, I mean, you can use calculus to do some lattice structure math, but it's not the type of math that I'm doing. Anyway, that's all I wanted to show y'all. You can read this and see what it is, but emergent helical spin in a cubic perovskite type material, which we received by simply expanding the lattice structure. So the magnetism would have to shrink, like there would have to be some way to shrink and expand this. So this would be a really cool way of doing this. We'd be able to control the size of the lattice expansion by using high pressure technique. Oh, to grow a series of single crystals. Okay, but it still provides the heliomagnetism. This is going to be really hard for quantum locks, but it makes sense to me the way it works. For the fusion thing, it's actually a lot easier because you just need the magnetic properties of this type of crystal or whatever they made, ferromagnetic crystal. Oh, heliomagnetal crystal. I guess that's what you could call it. They should coin that term. Heliomagnetal crystal. Ferromagnetal. Is that the right word? Ferromagnetic. Sorry, ferromagnetic. Heli Helimagnetic. Okay, these are really hard words to pronounce. Okay, well, that's all I have for this video. Yeah, there's not going to be much else on it, but yeah, these are cool. Yeah, and translating the prosper into useful functions. Well, I can already think of quite a few applications like I just talked about. But yeah, anyway, thank you all for watching. Like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. And yeah, 153 subscribers. I don't really do that for these videos because they're kind of just for anybody to watch. And I was doing that for the game, but I'm actually trying to, you know, I don't really care if I make money off of this. It would be awesome, but until I get my degree, it's not going to make me any money for sure. And even then, like, I gotta get a few PhDs if I even want to be working on this shit. Which there ain't no way that I have the time and patience and mental health for that, or I definitely won't have the mental health by the time I'm done. So yeah, that's it. Thank y'all for watching.